501c TV. I'm your host, Janelle Harris, and this is the podcast that talks to system change leaders, thought leaders, nonprofits, and nonprofit partners to find out what is going on in our exciting world of nonprofits. And today I have with me in studio Jodi with Ruth's Pantry. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's just such an honor to be here. Thank you.
Good. I'm really excited to talk about Ruth's Pantry. I know you guys have some exciting things going on. So
Yes, we do.
Let's dive in. I first want to kind of know what your background is. How did you end up here working with Ruth's Pantry?
I've always had a heart for local missions.
Mm-hmm.
I have worked through the church. But when you're doing local missions, you're not in the church, you are in the community.
Sure.
I was a biblical counselor for Oasis for a few years, and they shut down, and I was looking for something to do. And I kept riding by this sign on Okeechobee Boulevard that said Ruth's Pantry.
Okay.
And finally one day I just walked in and found out what was going on. And I started volunteering there for
Okay.
about 3 years.
And was this sign it was at a church, correct?
It was at a church.
Which church was this?
Palms West Presbyterian
Okay,
Church.
this is what I thought. Okay, go
Yes.
on. I'm sorry.
And I was attending, and I was local missions coordinator for a different church.
Okay.
So I just started volunteering there. I was there more for prayer and counsel. And then the pandemic hit.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
we were shut down for about 4 months. And when we reopened, it had to be as a drive-through.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Up until this point, the church was kind of supporting the ministry. Everybody kind of dropped out during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and I stepped up. And it just grew from there. We started a drive-through. We get all food donated. We don't work through any government agencies. Everything we do
All
is private donations.
That's huge.
We serve at least 90 to 100 families a week.
Okay.
So that's an average of about 400 people. They come through, and we really focus on giving them some healthy foods. So they get fruits and vegetables, then they get eggs, milk, cheese, prepared meals, frozen meat, chicken, ground beef, pork, pastries, bread, and non-perishable foods.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing, in the headlines in the news recently with all that's going on in the economy. And, I saw some statistics just in Palm Beach County alone, and I think this might have been even over a year ago, but it was like something like 173,000 people that were, food insecure.
Food insecure.
And 50,000 of those plus were kids. So to me, that is that just hits home.
Yes.
This is right here in our backyard. So I think it's really great what you guys are doing. And, a lot of the reports that I read too are just families in general, because it's so hard to put food on the table and things are so expensive now. Keeping healthy items,
Yes.
in the kitchen and
Absolutely.
available is so important. So where do you guys get a lot of your food donated from? Who do you guys work with?
We work with Palm Beach Harvest. We work with Whole Foods, Bednar's, a lot of private farms, private donations, that type of thing.
Yeah, which is great, because I was thinking, when you start to go a little bit further west, even that's all that's out there.
Yeah.
All of our farmers are out that way.
But it's so much red tape to get connected to any big companies.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
We get a lot of private donations just from the community.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So do you guys still, so we were doing like a drive-through thing back during COVID, and if a family wants to come take advantage of what Ruth's Pantry has, how do they do that? Do they have to contact you and be put on a list?
All they have to do is show up.
They just show up.
They show up.
Okay, which is awesome.
They
I was
sit in
wondering.
line for not that long. We don't ask for a whole lot of information for them. We don't want to be the sheriff's department or, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
If someone needs food, then we give them food.
Which is awesome. So tell me a little bit about, you guys had, so August 14th was the 3-year anniversary of Ruth's Pantry.
No.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was not the 3-year
No,
anniversary.
no.
So take me back to the history of that a little bit.
It's been about 10 years.
It's been 10,
It's
okay.
been about 10 years. I myself have been there for about 5 years. We also noticed that when people have food insecurity and a need, especially families with kids, there's always other needs. It's shocking how many families are living in their cars out in the Western community. We have the same thing you have east. It just is a little more hidden because of the vastness of it.
Sure.
But this year alone, we put out over 200 backpacks packed full of school supplies
Awesome.
to the teachers and a lot of the students here. We provide Hands of Grace bags, which is toiletry items, personal items. We give those to shelters or halfway houses. We really try to meet the needs of the community, not just with the food, but with the other insecurities that they have.
Right, and I would see how that would completely go hand in hand. So do you guys just partner with some other like agencies or nonprofits in the area?
It is absolutely amazing that just recently stuff started showing up at the pantry.
Okay.
We got a lot of brand new men's t-shirts, men's socks, some toiletry items, sunglasses. We got like 200 pairs of sunglasses.
That's great.
And I'm thinking, why is all of this just showing up? And the next thing you know, we have partnered up with Forgotten Soldiers.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
And we were able to provide all of these clothes and other items for the gift boxes that they send to our soldiers overseas.
That's amazing.
So I'm constantly looking for partnerships. I truly believe that when we're helping the community,
Sure.
we have to do it together.
Yeah, and you know, and honestly, like you know, my husband and I are a small business owner, and just if you think about the number of businesses that are just in our area alone that probably have a lot of different things that can just be recycled and reworked and donated. Like
Yes.
if they only know, you know, and that's why I think this is important that we're sitting down and talking about this so people know about you and they say, hey, I have this. I don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah.
A lot of people are always looking for ways that they can, you know, donate things that sometimes are just never even used. They're brand new.
Yeah, and people want to help. They just don't know how or where to help.
Exactly. So, so I appreciate you being here because I know that, especially we're coming up now. It's getting into the fall and towards the holidays. People are especially, you know, perked up.
It's perked up for giving.
Yes, yes,
the cupboard
perked up
is
for
full
giving.
around the holidays.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about some of the things that you guys do around the holidays and maybe some ways that, you know, people that are listening can help you.
Well, what we're doing, November the 11th, the Sheriff's Department is having a fundraising quarter auction and toy drive for us at Boonies
Oh, okay. I'm taking this note down.
out on Southern Boulevard,
What's the date on that? November 11th.
November 11th.
Okay, awesome.
We will probably also, in the month of November, be having a rooster raffle. I know this sounds a little odd.
Okay, I need to
but
know more about this.
We have this wonderful 8-foot metal rooster that's all dressed up for Christmas. And we're going to raffle him off as a fundraiser.
Really?
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We give everyone that comes through the line on Thanksgiving a bag that has all of your fixings: stuffing,
Okay.
gravy, potatoes, cranberry sauce. And we used to give turkeys, but 100 frozen turkeys is a lot to handle.
It is.
Yeah. Just timing and everything.
And also just logistics of
And we
where
found
do we
that there are
put
some
those?
people that don't even have the ability and capability of cooking it.
Right.
We get a lot of older widowers
Mm-hmm.
on a fixed income, and they're not going to have turkeys. So we rally together, and we get about $25 gift cards from Publix or Aldi's or something like
That's
that, and
awesome.
give that with the bag.
Which is great because they also have like the pre-made kind of like
Exactly,
meal to go where you don't
exactly.
need a full kitchen
Yes.
to make it. So
Yes.
that's amazing. I love that. Do you guys need volunteers for that event as far as like
We always need volunteers.
handing them out? Okay.
We basically are functioning 5 days a week.
Okay.
In some way, food comes in, we process it, put it away, we go through donations, so it's a full-time operation.
So speaking of the logistics of where you're located now, you guys have some kind of exciting news to
Yes,
share.
we just kind of moved.
Yes.
We were based inside of the church in
Yes.
Fellowship Hall. I kind of took over half of it during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
4 years later, the church finally said, we need our space back.
You're like,
the kids need
okay,
their space.
fine.
So we got our own building and we put it in the parking lot right next to the building.
I love that. And you guys are, is it near, I was trying to figure out where this was. I know it's on Okeechobee. Are you close to like Lion Country Safari?
No, we're not that far out.
Not
we're
that
kind
far.
of close to Red Barn,
Oh, okay. I was trying to like, I wanted to give the listeners like some type
just
of,
a little west of Red Barn.
okay, awesome. So
We call it
that's-
Church Road because there's church after church.
Yeah, like,
Which is amazing because almost every church supports the pantry,
I'm sure.
which is also really
Yeah,
nice.
which is great. So now that you've moved into this new location, will that give you kind of, you know, more space to be able to handle more donations or?
We have more space,
Okay.
which is really nice. It's just a better working environment.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to organize better. But my big goal when we moved was to be more accessible to the community instead of just Wednesdays from 10 to 12.
Right.
Because there are a lot of parents out there that are getting their kids to school, working,
Yeah.
still not able to make ends meet. We
Sure.
all know what it's like living these days,
Yes.
and especially when you have children. So we want it to be more accessible. So we can now be open whenever we want. So if I get a call from somebody and they say, we really need food, but we can't get there Wednesday, we work out a time with them.
Awesome.
And they can come and pick up.
Yeah, so it gives you that flexibility.
Yes.
A lot better.
And we get to reach out a lot more.
Which I love. So we've moved. You know, what other things are coming on the horizon for you in the next? Now that you've moved and you're like getting settled in, you know, what do you want to see happen?
One of the first things that we're going to get started is a tutoring program
Okay.
for the kids that just can't afford it,
Sure.
can't get it through the school system. That's something that can really make a difference in the next generation.
Absolutely.
And it can help them get out of the situation they're in. That and some English classes.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people and they want to try, but they can't afford to go and take English classes.
Right.
So we just wanted to do that to try to help
That's
just
awesome.
build them up and
I
give
love
them
that.
some good tools.
Amazing. So okay, so you mentioned the event at Boonies, the Rooster.
The rooster.
Tell me the Rooster again. What was the date on the Rooster?
We haven't come up with the specifics for the rooster.
But if we follow you online, will we see?
You will see.
Okay, perfect.
We will put it out there.
Okay, perfect. And we'll put all of your social media handles up there. I'm very interested to like come see the Rooster and like learn more about this. So you know, also for you personally, you know, what do you think is the big impact? What keeps you like waking up and wanting to do this every single morning?
The relationships. The relationships between the partnerships that I've formed with people that are helping us and we're helping them.
Right.
The relationships amongst the volunteers is absolutely amazing. We have a team of probably right now about 40 volunteers. And to see the interaction with them and what they get out of doing it.
Right.
To see the interaction with our clients and the volunteers. To see people come through the line and shed a tear or two of gratitude.
Yeah.
Or sharing something for prayer and then coming back with an answer. I would say that's what keeps me going. The food is a door to the relationship.
Right.
I would be happy not picking up another can of food
Right.
or picking up a big delivery, but it's what gets you to the people and it supplies that need. And once you see that need and you meet these people, you find out some deeper needs and some other things they need. And to me, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like, like you said, it's like a doorway into,
Yeah.
you know, and then once there's kind of like that trust built up, and you know, you can dig in a little bit more and
That's
see.
what it is. It's about digging it a little deeper than just, here's your bag of food.
Right, absolutely. And so let's give me a story. Like, give me one of your favorite stories of maybe somebody that you've met that's come through, or like
Okay.
without making me cry. Don't make me cry,
During
Jodi.
the pandemic, we had a gentleman come through, and he had 4 kids. He had a good job. They were living a good life. His wife also was working. Their kids ranged probably from 3 to about 9. And through the pandemic, he lost his job. The wife was working part-time, trying to do the homeschooling for the kids because you all know what happened back then.
I remember. I blocked that from my mind.
And
that whole
they
time.
have a mortgage payment and a car payment that they had when they were just doing fantastic.
Sure.
And he was trying to find any way to make things a little bit easier.
Right.
And he was very tearful. About 9 months later, he came back through the line and he pulled up and he said, I don't need any food. He said, but I wanted to come back, and when you prayed with me about getting work, I got a fantastic job, and I wanted to come back and pray for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just an amazing, you got to see the full circle of how, you know, someone drives up in a nice car and looks good. It's very easy to say, well, what are they doing here?
Right.
But taking the time to learn their story and to realize that we are all so close ourselves
Yeah.
to having a need.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like, and especially, I mean, COVID was its own unique set of challenges,
Yes.
but, you know, even like just around here and like, you know, like the school district, Palm Beach County School District for certain, you know, there's kids that are in that school district that are worried about like when school lets out for a holiday break because they don't know where they're going to get their next meal.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's like so heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
Right here, you know.
And we're very specific with our children. When they come through a line, every kid gets a toy and a book.
Oh, I love that.
No matter what, and a cookie
That's awesome.
or a cupcake. Because when you grow up, you hear kids say, oh, I remember when I was young, I had to go to the food pantry with my mother, and it was so embarrassing, and it was horrible. And these kids get excited in the morning and say, Mom, when are we going to see Ruth?
Right.
Nobody knows who Ruth is.
Oh.
But,
Well, she's a good person. That's all that needs to be known.
and every dog that comes through gets a dog toy and a treat. So, like I said, it's about the relationship. It's about showing people that people care.
Right.
That it's not just that we want to feel good because we're giving food to someone that needs it.
Totally.
It's about really seeing past that and caring about what's important to them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing because, again, you're literally, you're in my backyard here. And so it hits home a lot that you guys are doing this. So anything else special that you want to leave our people with that are watching?
Christmas. I'll tell you a quick thing about Christmas.
Tell me a great Christmas
we
story.
do a great Christmas party for the kids in the neighborhood. We go to the school system, we go to the sheriff's department and find out what families are in need. We're very specific in finding out homeless families, giving the sheriff's department some flyers so they can be invited without getting too personal.
Awesome.
And we set up Fellowship Hall like a toy store. All brand new toys, bikes, scooters, everything.
Okay.
And the parents come with their kids, and we have a big picnic outside. We have hot dogs, hamburgers, Christmas cookies, crafts. Pastor Ruffin always tells the Christmas story.
I love that.
And when they gather for the Christmas story, the parents come in and they shop for the kids.
Awesome.
And the kids are busy. The kids don't even know
They don't
we
even
have
know what's
toys
going on.
there.
That's so awesome.
And they get that, they get their wrapping paper, and then someone takes it out and puts it in their trunk for them. We wanted the parents to be able to have those toys under the tree for the kids, so the kids don't remember, oh, we got our Christmas presents from the church.
Right.
So we really try to show people that they're no different than we are. We're just providing through a tough time.
Yeah, I love that. Wonderful stories. Well, great. Well, I am so happy that you came here today. Like I said, you guys are doing such awesome things right here in our backyard, and really appreciate all that you're doing. And I want everyone to follow along and follow you guys on social and support, you know, any of your events coming up, which sounds so much fun. I know I took a bunch of notes for myself.
We do get a little crazy with the events.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing, and I think it's awesome. So I appreciate you being here today, and if there's anything else you want to leave our listeners with before we
if you want any further information right now, you can email me. It's ruthspantry.jodie, Jodie, at gmail.com. And I'll get back to you and tell you how you can donate. We take financial donations for operating costs, non-perishable foods, toiletry items, so I'd be happy to direct you. If you want to come in and hang out with us, we have a great, we have an event every time we're open.
Awesome. So. I can totally see that. I see the passion coming through.
Oh,
so
I'm
sure your whole team is the same way.
And I did see a tear or two.
I know. I said it's hard to, it's a tough topic, but I appreciate you being here. So
well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will definitely follow along, and I know that I'll be at some of your events for sure. Okay. So thank you
so much.
So that is all the time we have here today at 501c TV. It does go fast. But thank you for joining us. And please take a look at Ruth's Pantry online and check out all their socials and all the wonderful things that they're doing here for our community. And a special thank you also to Kana House Studios, Wellington's first and only social content creation studio. And we will see you next time here on 501c TV. Thank you.